So I made this video originally for a friend that, not a friend, just a guy that DM'd me on Instagram, just seeking clarification about my first EP that I released this year. He wanted me to kind of explain where I was coming from. So I thought this would be a helpful thing. I struggle with this sometimes because if you explain art, I think sometimes it loses its power. And but I think this guy, he really was struggling with it, and he contacted me multiple times. So I made this video for him, but I figured I'd share it with you as well if you're interested in knowing the backstory and maybe my rationale behind my first EP I released this year called "I'm Sorry, Are You God." So here's the video, and I hope it blesses you. Hey, bro, I hope you're doing good. I don't know. Let me see if I can find your name real quick. I saw that you DM'd me. I'm not sure if your name was on there. So let me see. Uh, yeah. Mandela, Mandela Kayasi, Mandela Kayasi. Um, Struggling to pronounce your name, bro. But hi. My name is Wesley, and I really appreciate you sending me a DM, just getting some clarification about the project. First of all, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to wrestle with my music, but also like give me a hearing. It means a lot to be heard. It means a lot from an artist to make something and have somebody listen to it and misunderstand it and understand it. Like all of that is a gift. So I appreciate all of it. But I'm going to take this time, try to make this video under 10 minutes to try to explain to you my thinking behind making the project and maybe why some things may not be as clear as maybe you want it to be. So the first thing, the title, "I'm Sorry, Are You God?" There's a lot of different ways to read that. The first thought I had when I wrote that title, "I'm Sorry, Are You God?" That was me protesting against people that have really tried to be God in my life. They've tried to tell me what is wrong, what is right. Tried to tell me what to think. They've tried to tell me how to behave and what it means to be a Christian. And I've struggled with that because these people are not God, and so their perspectives are limited, just like mine are. But the problem is, and that's true whether we like it or not. But the problem is, I've treated them like they're God. They've been my idols. So one way for me to say, "I'm sorry, are you God?" is a way for me to reorient myself and just realign myself with the one true God and not these false idols that I have built up in my life. So as I'm saying, "I'm sorry, are you God?" It's kind of like, okay, I'm reminding myself that you're not God. And so you don't have the last word on anything. So that's a way for me to kind of redirect myself back to the one true God. But there's a lot of different ways to read that title. "I'm sorry, are you God?" There's also my posture towards God. A lot of times I don't think that God is present in my life. And so another way to read that title is, "I'm sorry, are you God?" It's kind of like a question to God. Like, I'm sorry for not recognizing your presence. I'm sorry not for not recognizing that you are indeed with me. You are within the people that I struggle with. You are within creation, and you're bigger than I thought you were. So that's a different way to read the title. So those are just two different ways, and something like that is open. So there might be a way that you interpret that, and this is the purpose of art. I have a way that I'm thinking as I create it, but I'm also leaving it open for different interpretations of that same message. And then the first song, "God, You Don't Exist," that was an attempt to expand my understanding of God. God is not just a being that exists. God is being itself. God is love itself. God is not just loving. God is love. So that was a way for me to just wrestle with the reality of God in light of what people have told me. So that's what that song was about. So my understanding of God is bigger than what I've been told, and it continues to expand. And every single day, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not confined in text. It's not confined in the scriptures, even though it's in the scriptures. Even though we can see God in the scriptures, God is going to continue to go beyond the scriptures because the Spirit continues to move and continues to unfold. So that was my heart for that song. And then "People Pleasing" is another protest. This is just probably the heart of the EP because that's been my struggle over the years. I've really tried to be a people pleaser in so many ways, and it has drained me spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So that song was a protest. It was a recognize. I was recognizing that I've been living for people my whole life, but also in the midst of that, I've been looking for God my whole life. So that's been the struggle because I know a lot of times I've been looking for God while I've been people pleasing, and I've been thinking that people pleasing is me pleasing God, right? I've been conflating those two. People pleasing has been my idol. Meanwhile, I still have this desire that I'm looking for God and I'm still seeking for God. So that's what you hear in that song. And then Hell is Empty. This is a celebration song. And I wrote this song thinking about Christmas because it was around the time that I wrote it. And the whole idea is that wouldn't it be great if hell was empty? And this is what I'm starting to believe. But I don't know. I'm struggling with that. Maybe eventually hell would be empty. I think that's my hope. Eventually, everyone will be reconciled to God through Christ. Eventually, and maybe this takes a long time. Maybe it goes beyond this lifetime. Maybe it goes thousands of years. I don't know. But my hope and my plea and my prayer is that eventually hell is empty. For my sake, for the sake of the people that I love, for the sake of my enemies, and that's my hope, that's my plea, and that was my prayer in that. And we can debate on whether or not the scripture defends an idea like that. That's debatable. Okay, that's not the point. The point is, this is my desire. Like I hope that hell is empty. Like that's my prayer. And then Still Lost with You is a song that I wrote about just the struggle of knowing stuff but also not knowing stuff at the same time. Like I may know about God. I may know about my need not to people please. I may know that maybe hell is empty, but I'm still confused about so much. And that's what that song was about. Originally I wrote it from the perspective of someone that was lost, that was away from God, away from Christ. But eventually I was like, no, this is my story. Like I know God. I've been a Christian most of my life. I've been following Jesus most of my life. I'm a Christian pastor by trade, but I can still be lost and I can still be confused. And I still need to depend on God and Christ for every day of my life. And then Still Lost with You is like, okay, I can still be confused and not really know where I'm going, but I'm with my wife. Like I love my wife and I'm not alone. Marriage has been a blessing to me, and to have these questions about God in my life, but to still have my wife with me is such a beautiful thing. So this is what that whole song was about, like being lost, being confused, but not being alone while you're in that confusion. And then lastly, Coexist was just a culmination of all these things that I'm experiencing. So I have these ideas I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with my people pleasing. I'm struggling with people that are acting like God. But then at the end of the day, I'm recognizing that all of these things belong. Like all of these things are gifts, and they can be gifts from God. So I'm not just trying to rid myself of people or ideas or perspectives. I'm trying to learn how to deal with all of it. I'm not trying to live a pain-free life. I'm trying to live a life where beauty and pain can coexist. And that's the whole idea behind that song. And I said some stuff towards the end about I think one of the lines that people may have a problem with is because at the end of the day everybody's getting saved, something like that. Once again, that's my hope. Like if I hope that hell is empty, my hope is also that everyone will be saved. And I think it's okay to have that hope, even if people debate on whether or not this is biblical. And like this EP is not meant to be a one-on-one biblical like representation of the faith. This is my expression, my hope, my desire. This is self-expression, and this is what creativity is. So I think sometimes it loses its power when it's explained like this, but for some people I know it could be helpful, which is why I made this video for you. So I hope this makes sense. I hope all of this is um, clarifying for you. And like I said, my goal was to do this under 10 minutes, and I think I achieved that goal. But like I'm gonna say in the DM that I'm sending you, if this doesn't make sense still, I'm more than happy to get on the video call with you. We can do that over Zoom, whatever platform you want to use, except FaceTime. We can do anything except FaceTime. But just let me know. We can even do a Zoom call over, I think Instagram. I think Instagram allows that to happen. So let me know, bro. I'm flexible. I think you might be in a different part of the world, so we might have to work with time zones and figure that out, but I'm willing to have like a brief conversation with you about this to explain some things and to answer some questions. But thank you again for listening. Thank you for inquiring, and thank you for getting a desire, having a desire to understand my work and understand where I'm coming from. Blessings to your day and blessings to your life.
Amen.